something, Mr. Cuban. Sounds like an engine. Where? What direction? I can't make it out. It seems like it's all around us. Can't you hear it? Is that what you mean? Yeah, that's it. That's it. High-speed propeller bearing 105. Right, Blue Runner.
Welcome to another episode of the Superpowered Fancast. This is Darren. This is episode 34, and I'm trying this experiment again. This time I'm not on the cold medicine. I'm just kind of doing it just to see if it works. So, like I said, from the last episode, it's going to be both the video portion, what I'm doing, what you're looking at right now, I guess, on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, so for Superpowered Fancast, and this same episode as the actual podcast. Now it's still going to be rough. It's still going to be, until I get the hang of it, till I get better at it. I hope you'll hang with me, and I absolutely want your feedback. I want to know what you think. Let me know what I can improve on. If you can, any advice is certainly welcome. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get into the news, just in kind of the movie and TV news, and just stuff that I found interesting this week. And I mean, and the biggest news this week, I mean, frankly, I know there was other stuff in the news, but the biggest news this week in geek culture is, of course, Avengers Infinity War. I mean, that's the biggest story, biggest geek story of the week, because we've been clamoring for this trailer since D23, and even though this isn't the one that was shown at D20, this isn't the one that was shown at D23 or at Comic-Con, the San Diego Comic-Con. The trailer was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I loved every minute of it from start to finish. It's the culmination of 10 years of Marvel Studios. I mean, it's got to be huge. They've given us a decade worth of amazing entertainment, and this looks like it's it looks like it's going to be the swan song to some characters, and bringing forth some new characters into the fold. And I'm all ready, but at the same time, I'm nervous. Like, I don't want to lose anybody. Like, I've been following these characters for 10 years. It's so it's hard to think that there may be some that won't make it through, but at the same time, it's got to add to the stakes. It's got to add to the drama. And even the trailer itself was amazing. Not a lot of people are gonna well, I mean, I'll just throw it out there. I mean, Tony looks like he's getting his ass whipped, and so is Spider-Man. So, I mean, that's hard to look at in and of itself. So it'll be even harder to see it in the film. So I mean, that's been the biggest story of the week so far, is the Avengers Infinity War. And I don't know if I can say anything that hasn't already been said, other than I loved it. I'd say probably the only thing that bothers me is just, like, I mean, I love it. Absolutely loved it. I like Justice League a lot too. I don't have to compare one thing to another in order for one thing to be better. I don't have to actually have them be better. I can love one thing for what it is, and love one thing for what it is as well. So I loved the Infinity War trailer. I really enjoyed Justice League. So sue me. I'm one of those people who can actually enjoy more than one thing at a time. Call me crazy. Now, one of the things I did notice about the Infinity War trailer is actually who's not in it. Now, if you go back and watch it again, and I would encourage you to do so. I've watched it probably about 15, 20 times at least, but there are two people I noticed are not anywhere in that trailer, and that would be Ant-Man and Wasp. Now I know they have their solo film coming out, and I know that they're in Avengers 4. So then my question becomes, are they in Infinity War in some capacity? I mean, do they show up at some point and are on a mission for somebody, or maybe they're not in the film at all? Maybe they actually are part of the new iteration of the Avengers, rolling into Avengers 4. And if that's the case, that's awesome, because maybe just continuing the through line of everything being connected, we'll find out what Scott and Janet were doing in the time Thanos invaded. So that's going to be it's going to be interesting to see. Now maybe they'll show up in another trailer, or maybe they'll be a small part, no pun intended. But it'll be their presence was in fact missed by me, and then considering the fact that Marvel's touting their movie as the first Marvel romantic comedy, I just kind of want to see if that chemistry is anywhere present in Infinity War. Maybe as a way to kind of lighten some of the harsher moments. But anyway, so going into TV, and you can't even necessarily call it TV, because it's looking like everyone's going to be getting their own streaming service sometime soon. But this is going to be for Warner Brothers, specifically DC Comics. But we got our first look at Brenton Thwaites as Robin in the live-action Titans series. And he looks great. He looks absolutely amazing as Robin. I think it's a great look. It's a great costume. It looks it's not overly bright. It's not too dark. It looks good. It actually looks really functional. But then it leads me to the question, so is he Robin through the entire series, or is this just the beginning? Because from everything I've read, everything I've heard about the Titan series, is that this is the series that has Dick Grayson kind of come into his own. So if he's coming into his own, then does he shed the Robin persona at some point and become Nightwing? So that would be kind of the question I would ask. I mean, just again, the costume looks really good, but the fact is, do they put that much time and effort into the costume to have him be Robin throughout the series, or does he make a transition into Nightwing? And if he does that transition throughout the course of the season, I'd be satisfied as well. So, I mean, but if you take a look at it, I think it looks great. I think he looks amazing in the costume. And kind of like the next bit of news is about actually one of my favorite Disney films, both for story and music, is Mulan. And it looks like the live action version of Mulan has found its lead, and that would be actress, and I apologize to everyone. I apologize to everyone in the Asian community in the way that I'm probably about to butcher her name. But I think it's Liu Fei. If I'm wrong, please tell me. Please send it to me phonetically. How to pronounce it correctly at SuperpoweredFan right down there at the corner. Tweet me and let me know how, what a jackass American I am and how I can't pronounce anything for shit. Just let me know. I'm willing to take the blame. I'm willing to take the brunt on that. But I think she absolutely looks the part. I can't wait to see her on the screen. The biggest thing I want from a live action Mulan film at this point is I want to see Ming-Na in that film. I want her in that film. I know she didn't originate the role. It's based on this is based on a story, but she so embodied that character that I would love to see her performance acknowledged in some way by having her as part of the production. because I think I think she's an amazing actress, and I would love to see her kind of go back into that world at some point. So yes, that's the end of like the movie and the TV news. Now, the next thing I do want to talk about is actually my comic book recommendations for the week. And I know it's kind of the end of the week, and we're going to go into the next week. But if you haven't picked up these titles, these are actually ones I'd kind of recommend to put on your pull list. Now, the first one that I would probably recommend is Darkhawk number 51. Now, Darkhawk number 51 is written by Chad Bowers and Chris Sims, and it's got art by Kev Walker. And what I love about this comic is it takes me back to the early 90s when Darkhawk was a huge character. For me, I actually really liked the character. I thought he was, I think in the pantheon of Marvel characters, he was new at the time. And it was exciting to kind of have a new hero joining all of these established heroes that we had grown up with and loved. And I really liked having a hero who at that point was around my age. So I had the fortune of kind of seeing the Marvel Universe through his eyes, and his story has transitioned into, him being an adult and dealing with the world, dealing with the fact that he doesn't have his powers, or maybe. So it's an interesting read. So I definitely would pick that up. The next one I would recommend is also kind of a little bit of a nostalgia kick for me, and I think that's might be one of the reasons why I'm enjoying Marvel Legacy so much, is that they're kind of not even kind of they're really taking me back to what I enjoyed about these characters in kind of the same way that DC has done with Rebirth. Legacy has kind of given me those moments and those characters that I remember, and kind of transitioned them into the present. So my next recommendation would be Old Man Logan number 31. And this is written by Ed Brisson with art by Mike Deodato Jr. And this one is, again, it's classic Logan. It's classic Wolverine. I mean, you got Logan back in Japan, where where some of the best Wolverine stories came from. So I mean, he's having to deal with the Yoshida Corporation. He's having to deal with Silver Samurai. He's having to deal with the Hand. So I mean, it's just it's amazing, and the artwork is so beautiful. It's so vibrant and beautiful and classic and gritty, and I love it. So definitely that's definitely one I would recommend to pick up. And the last one on my list, not necessarily the last comic I would recommend, because there's so many that came out this week from Oni Press and Dynamite and Boom Studios, but just for the sake of time, the third and final one I'm going to recommend, because I mean it's kind of a test, is Batman Creature of the Night #1 from DC Comics. Now this one is written by Kurt Busiek with art by John Paul Leon, and this one I really enjoyed because it's so haunting and tragic at the same time. I mean, this one is really it's based on a kid who, well, based on, I mean, it's about a kid named Bruce Wainwright, who's a huge Batman fan and ends up dealing with the same kind of tragedy that his hero in the comic books deals with, but in a real world setting. Like things don't progress the way that, they do in the stories that he loves, but there's a mysterious force, a mysterious creature who's kind of getting revenge on his behalf. And the first issue of this is so kind of haunting and a little scary, and I definitely want to dive into this story and see where it goes. So, I mean, that's, it's absolutely amazing. So it's definitely one I'd recommend. Batman, Creature of the Night #1. So, that's it. I mean, a lot of other stuff has happened in the news and continues to happen, but I think probably like the biggest things that occurred this week, I kind of talked about, and the things that really kind of got my attention. So, and then just as an experiment, just to kind of see if this goes, I'm like I said, I'm still working on it. And I want, like, please, like, give me your feedback. Let me know what you think, what you like, what you don't. Like I said, I'm absolutely open to criticism. I would love suggestions, as far as like how to do graphics better or things of that nature, like maybe like what kind of webcam to buy, just things like that. So definitely, if you want to reach me, you can tweet me at superpoweredfan. You can follow me and email me at superpoweredfancast@gmail.com. And definitely find my reviews and news items on my website, superpoweredfancast.com. And I'm also the news editor and write reviews for the Geeks Worldwide Network, which you can find those on the gww.com. So please give those a look, give me a listen, tell me what you think, and I definitely will take your feedback. So for the Superpowered Fancast, this is Darren signing off.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!